Hello, Jekyll Knight here. It's time for another collection series video. This is number 5 in my series, and today we're going to view my Nintendo handheld games for Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and Virtual Boy. So let's get started. Okay, let's see if we can get more lighting over here. There you go. So let's start at the top left. I have Mario Land. That one, the first Mario Land was kind of Mario Land 2 was cool. Wario Land was kind of but Wario 2, which I have two different kinds right there, regular and regular / Game Boy Color. That game was freaking awesome. So was Wario Land 3. Now, looking at the different kinds of cartridges, mostly if they're gray or sometimes other colors, they're Game Boy. If they're dark, they're you can play them on Game Boy and Game Boy Color. And the kind of clear, like those kinds of cartridges, can only be played on Game Boy Color. They will not work on Game Boy. New Super Mario Deluxe. Tetris. Tetris is freaking one of the greatest, funnest handheld games. And Tetris DX, I forgot if there was extra features on that one. I always played the regular anyways. Dr. Mario, Zelda, Link's Awakening, that game was freaking classic. And the Zelda DX had an extra dungeon. I never really beat Oracle of Ages or Oracle of Seasons. I should try to play those again. Those are pretty fun. I just never got to complete them. Pokemon! Yes, I did play Pokemon at one time. Games are pretty addicting, but I just wish they'd advance the fighting system. Metroid 2, we got Marble Madness, Battletoads, Donkey Kong Land, Earthworm Jim, Mega Man Extreme, Dragon Quest 1 and 2, Castlevania Adventure, Faceball. I love the Super Nintendo one, that one kind of sucked. And now we have our Virtual Boy games. And I do have a working Virtual Boy. My next collection series video will probably be my consoles that I own. But anyways, Virtual Boy games. Mario Tennis. That game was pretty fun for as long as my eyes could stand. And Wario Land. That game was pretty good for as long as my eyes can stand. And Tolero Boxer is an alright, kind of a alright boxing game for as long as my eyes could stand. Now we have our Game Boy Advance game. Pokemon, oh, collect them all. Pikachu. Pokemon, Ruby, Emerald, Sapphire. Probably should go in that order. Fire Red, Leaf Green, and then I stuck a Rumble Pack there, which I rarely use. That Rumble Pack was so noisy. Not too many Game Boy Advance games used it. Or DS, whatever. Castlevania Circle of the Moon, Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance, and Castlevania Area of Sorrow. Those 3 games are freaking awesome. And especially the last one. I love that. Knowing that you're playing as Dracula the whole time. Or you have Dracula's powers, whatever. Metroid Fusion, Metroid 0 Hours. Last 2 on those are pretty cool. And I kind of like how the classic carts are the same color as Nintendo cartridges. Just to point that out. Zelda 4 Swords. That one basically had a Link to the Past, and I never played the 4 Swords until 3DS came out. And Zelda Minish Cap, which I do have on my 3DS since I have the Ambassador, whatever, you could download early games. Castlevania, Zelda 2, never beat that game, freaking hard. Excite Bike, Banjo-Kazooie, that game was pretty cool. Well, yeah, because I do like Banjo, but it was pretty good for the Advance. Saber Wolf, I don't remember a whole lot. Banjo Pilot, Earthworm Jim 1 and 2, those are classics. They're basically Super Nintendo ports, and so was Rock and Roll Racing. That game was freaking awesome. Mario Brothers, Super Mario Advance 1, which was technically Super Mario 2. Super Mario Advance 2, which is Super Mario World. Yoshi's Island, which was Super Mario Advance 3, and Super Mario 3, which is Super Mario Advance 4. I love the extra levels that the e-reader fucking used. I should have pulled out my e-reader, but oh well. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Then we have Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, 3, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Wario Land 4, WarioWare. That game is cool. I pulled this out of a box. I don't even remember playing it. WarioWare Twisted. I probably played it, but don't remember it. Mario Kart, Dr. Mario, Desert Strike, Kid Clown and Crazy Chase. I don't think I have that for the Super Nintendo. I might. I just did a collection video on that. You think I'd remember. Super Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter Alpha 3, Sudoku! Oh, Sudoku Fever! Oh, playing Sudoku in the newspaper! Sudoku Fever. And an extra copy of Sapphire I found. Don't know who it belongs to. Probably one of my friends. And really quickly, I'm not too sure what versions of all these are. This is a Gameshark for Game Boy, Game Boy Color. Gameshark, I'm guessing for Advance, I don't know. Gameshark SP for probably the Game Boy Advance SPs. 2 different action replays for Game Boy Advance. And this Game Boy Advance thing, I think you can edit saves or something for the DS. I do not remember. And this is a pile of all the empty cartridges I had to take out and assemble this. But anyways, that one went quicker than normal. This is my Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance collection. And that's all for this collection video. I'll see what else I have. And that's all. Jekyll Knight signing out.